Hello and welcome to another edition of Life on Board AmyJo. And yes, I am on my own today. Since we last left you, Chris has now returned to work, which means I'm moving the boat on my own today. We've spent the last few days in Tattenhall Marina, just recouping really and chilling out. And now we're on our way to Middlebridge. I mentioned we were having some work done in Lee. It's actually now being done at Anderton. We're having some double glazing fitted into the side doors, and we're just waiting for the guy to give us a phone call, and then we've got to get up to Anderton. Now, with Chris working, that means that we have to make sure we can stop where Chris can park the car. So today the first stop is Middlebridge, and Chris will commute home from work to Middlebridge. So I'm cruising the boat on my own. Young Smudge is chilled out as ever when we're cruising. Lovely day, sun's out, hardly a cloud in the sky. Forecast is possible rain tomorrow, but we'll not let that worry us today. So brief stop at our second home, the Shady Oak, for lunch, and then we'll be joined by Ian. If you remember Ian, if you follow Gary Chuggerbugs and our vlogs in the past going into Chester, you remember Ian helped us through the locks. Well, today Ian has very kindly volunteered to help me through these locks. We've got 4 locks: Iron Lock, Stone Lock, Tillston Lock and the Bunbury Staircase. Oh, and Walton Lock of course. And Ian has very kindly offered to help me as I'm single-handing. I can manage all the locks bar Iron Lock, and as you've seen in Gary's vlog and my previous vlogs, there are no ladders in Iron Lock, so it's very awkward single-handing. But for now, enjoy the cruise. Please do come along with us and enjoy the day with us. After we left you in our last episode, we returned from Anderton to AmyJo's home port of Tattenhall Marina, where we recharged the batteries and victualled the boat ready for our new cruise back down the Shropshire Union Canal, with a brief stop at our favourite haunt, the Shady Oak, for lunch, and on to Middlebridge, just past Middlebridge Junction, the Middlebridge Inn. Chris joined me overnight, and then the next day I cruised across the Middlewich Branch while Chris went back to work, and finished up the cruise in the town of Middlewich, just above the Walton Lock, where it joins the Trent and Mersey Canal. Just caught a very brief glimpse then of a kingfisher. Had the camera in my hand, he's disappeared in that bush. Unfortunately, I didn't catch him. This is the first pair of swans we've seen for a while. They do tend to frequent this part of the canal, particularly this field. It's a favourite haunt of theirs. And back to a very familiar place for us, the Shady Oak. Love that pub, love the people that run it. Pete and Yvonne are some of the best hosts I've ever known. And I'm not saying that even because you're on the film. Now moored up just downstream of the Shady Oak. It's a bit early for the pub and we don't intend to go in there today. But we've stopped for lunch and to give Smudge a stretch of his legs. But as Gary likes to film cows, he'll probably film these on the way back. Never seen these in this field before. But they're certainly having a good old chomp on that grass there. And what do they say about cows laying down? Well, it's time to tackle our first lock of the day. This is Walton Lock. It's a popular lock around these here parts. Today to help, there's Ian. He's come to help us on the lock today. You're going to see us all the way through to Bunbury. Well, that's Walton Lock done, the first of our locks.
Yeah.
And we're now heading off down towards Iron Lock. And our mate Ian, oh, I'm all zoomed in, sorry about that. Our mate Ian is on the helm. And we're now heading downstream. It's a lovely day, beautiful day for cruising. So we'll see how we get on today. Two of the day. This is Iron Lock, and as you can see, the side walls are made of iron. Now, the reason it's made of iron is because the lock was located on a sandstone outcrop or a sandy outcrop, and it kept subsiding. So Telford come up with the idea of using this new material called cast iron, and made the lock. The bottom and the walls are made of cast iron, and so far the lock has remained. However, one of the walls just down here has buckled slightly, so they only advise one boat in the lock at any one time. Lock 3 of the day, and this is Stone Lock, aptly named because it's made of stone. Yeah. And this lovely little cottage, which has seen better days in the past, every time we come down here it's looking a little better. The new owners are slowly getting it ship shape. And Ian on the top there is doing an absolute pucker job for me today. Oh, this man, big style. I've left Ian in charge up there, steering the boat. I've just got the kettle on, just making us a nice cup of tea because it's quite warm out there, and I think he could both do with a cup of tea, especially Ian. He's been working hard on those locks. So we're currently now waiting at the bottom of our fourth lock, which is Tillston Lock. And unfortunately, one of the top paddles isn't working, so it's taking forever to fill. So we could be here for a little while. But our Ian's on the case, Smudge, of course. He's keeping an eye on the boat for us, as he always does, like a good little boy. He's a good lad, is our Smudge. You've been a good boy, Smudge. You're keeping an eye on the boat for me. There's a good lad. So we're now at the final set of locks, the Bunbury staircase. This is a 2-chamber set of locks, and Ian's just gone up. There's a boat coming down in the bottom lock, and the top chamber, which we need to be full, is currently empty. So Ian's gone on ahead and he's filling the top chamber again for us. So once this boat comes out the lock, we can then go in. That's it. We're now through the Bunbury locks. On our way down now. We've got a straight run to Barbridge, no more locks. Ian is done for the day for me, which I am very grateful for, Ian. I really do appreciate your help, mate. You need to have gone out your way this time round, but thanks again a bunch. You've made this little trip a damn sight easier for me, so thanks again, Ian. And we're going to continue to cruise now down to Barbridge, and we're lock free from now on. So well, we've just got through Calverley Services. We've now got the long run down towards Barbridge, but true to form, we're cruising. The weather's changing. It's gonna rain. Just our luck. Safe trip now.
Hopefully see you back at Tattenhall later on.
Yeah, be the back end of the month. You take care now.
Right. Pathfinders again.
Yeah. Here comes young Gary. Which way are you going, Gary?
Yes, I'll see you later, mate. I'd be tempted to go and turn with all this here.
Well, yeah, I'm going to. I was going to reverse back, but it's getting too busy. Anyway, you have a good trip home.
Hey, filming him again.
Yeah, we're always doing this, aren't we?
You take care of yourself.
Yes, and you, mate. You have a safe trip. And I'll see you in about a month.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Be careful out there.
Yeah, and you.
I'll be in the marina, I think.
All the best.
Take care.
Having spent a couple of nights at outside the Barbridge Inn, I've managed to reverse the boat back to Barbridge Junction, and we've now just swung on to the Middlewich Branch. The aim today is to get down to Middlewich itself, so there's 3 locks ahead of us, and we're going to stop at Middlewich for the night. We've now got word from the guy who's going to do the work on AmyJo for us, and we need to be at Upton on Tuesday. So we're just going to get to Middlewich, settle down for the weekend, and then it's just a quick cruise up to Upton. So grab your cup of tea and enjoy today's cruise. It's a beautiful morning here, sun's out, low in the sky, very slight mist on the cut. It's about 9 o'clock and it feels really beautiful this morning. Bit cool, but we like it like that. Sunny but cool. What a beautiful morning. So we're at our first lock of the day. This is Tillston Lock, just above Venetian Marina, and the lock's ready for me, so I'm just about to go in. Down through the lock and going past Venetian Marina. It's a lovely little marina here. We've got 1 or 2 friends in here, so that's it now until we get past Aqueduct Marina, and then there's a few locks, but for now some nice cruising to enjoy. What are you doing there, Smudge? Hey? You gonna settle down for me? You gonna lay down and settle? Now approaching our second lock of the day. This is Middlewich Lock. I love this little lock because it's got a beautiful little cottage, lockkeeper's cottage, and it doesn't look much from this side, but from down below the lock it looks a lovely little lock. It really does. As I said, the lock looks prettier from downstream than it does from above. It's a cracking little place. One of my favourite locks, that. Once again, we're lock free for a bit. I think Tattenhall Lock near Middlewich is our next one, so we can crank it a little bit, not too fast because I don't like going too fast, and we should make Middlewich pretty well. It's what is it, 25 to 11, so we've done really well so far. If we can get to Middlewich by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that'd be excellent. There we go. Good old Smudge, back on his duty, as always. We're now about halfway down the Middlewich Branch and we're cruising past Aqueduct Marina. It's a lovely marina. Lots of facilities here. There's a cafe, there's a chandlery up on the back there. It's a very nice marina. We've actually stopped overnight in here and been made more than welcome. And it's also home, you can probably just see her there, to a boat called Little Bear. And that's AmyJo's sister boat that was in build at the same time as AmyJo. It's another Fernwood boat there. But what a lovely marina. Smudge likes it, don't you, mate? Coming up to some narrows now. Now it looks like there might have been a bridge across there, but I think the narrows are actually built, as I mentioned before, CNRT can put stop planks in there and dam up the canal when there's a problem. Now, a couple of years ago this stretch near Middlewich there was a breach, and they had to use those stop planks to try and maintain the rest of the levels on the canal between Tattenhall Lock and presumably here, because I can't recall any more stop plank narrows after this set. There might be another one, I'm not sure. Cruising down the Middlewich Branch, and guess who I've just bumped into? It's Fran and Rich from Floating Our Boat. So good to see you two guys, and we'll see you again. Cheers now. We're just taking a bit of a breather now. We've stopped on some visitors' moorings. Smudge can stretch his legs and do what he needs to, and I can do myself some lunch and make another brew, and then we'll get going again. A nice cheese and ham sandwich sitting in the day room, looking at that lovely view outside the day room hatch, and just enjoy this peace and quiet. We've got some dark ominous clouds following alongside the boat here. Fortunately they appear to be following in parallel, so let's just hope the canal turns away from it and not towards it. It's looking a bit grey over there. Just made it to our third and final lock, Tattenhall Lock. This is the last one before we head into Middlewich. However, there are a few boats ahead of us, so there's a bit of a queue building. There's one in the lock going down, this one in front, and then we're next. Not quite sure what's coming up yet, so could be here a little while. Getting a bit wet here. Passing over what was the site of the Middlebridge Breach a couple of years back. You wouldn't guess it by the look of it now, but the little plaque there marks the actual point where the breach took place. But it's all been done, nicely finished. Oh, we didn't do too bad. It's 3:05. We're now moored up in Middlewich. The bridge you can see the guy walking across is the road bridge, and that's where Chris will be parking the car, so we couldn't be better placed. We're in full sun, so we're getting plenty of solar. Smudge wants to have a go at the ducks and can't, and there we are.